Today I'm going to show you how to use your slow cooker to make the tastiest and the most tender Mongolian beef. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com. On our website, you will find a ton of free, delicious recipes, including today's. Today, I'm going to show you how to make slow cooker Mongolian beef. Now, Mongolian beef is usually thinly stripped up, like cut up, I can't talk today, steak that is stir-fried in a delicious sweet sauce, but we're going to make it even easier because you're going to dump a bunch of ingredients in the crock pot, walk away, come back, and have the best tasting, so tender Mongolian beef. Now, you can find the full recipe linked below in the description, or you can always just find it by going to eatingonadime.com. Now, while we're talking about the description, not only do I include the link to the recipe, but I'm also going to include a link to our slow cooker cookbook. It's on sale, and I think you're going to love it. It's a digital cookbook, even though, spoiler alert, we are working on a physical cookbook, so stay tuned. But, and also all of the links that we're using, including right now, my favorite Crockpot, but everything that we use today will also be linked. So if you love something or need something, you can find it right there. The first thing you need is about 2 pounds of flank steak, or you could do a skirt steak. What we're going to do is I can't talk. I'm back now. What we're going to do is cut this into thin strips. This is my knife. You guys know I'm obsessed with this knife. We have that linked for you, but we want pretty thin strips. And so having a good sharp knife, and I actually sharpened it before we started, really helps. Now, when you do these strips, you want to make sure you're going against the grain. I want to show you, see how you can see all these little lines? That's the grain. So we don't want to cut it this way. We want to go the opposite. So we're going to cut it this way. And this is the secret to getting that tender beef. And then we're just going to slice this into thin slices. Now we're just going to take these slices of flank steak and put them in like a gallon-sized bag. You could just put them in a bowl if you want to, because we're going to coat these with some flour. Oh, these didn't want to pick those up. Now we're going to add cornstarch. Earlier I said flour, but I meant cornstarch. But actually, if you don't have cornstarch, you could do flour. The difference is they're both going to be a thickening agent, but flour is going to give you more of that like bready, gummier feel than cornstarch. But you do you, no judgment. We have 1/3 cup that's going in. And then I'm going to zip this closed, leaving air in the bag. So it's the opposite of what you're used to. And then we're going to shake it all around. And you get that steak all coated in that cornstarch. Now we're just going to open it up. And I want you to see that it doesn't have to be perfectly coated. You just want a little thin layer over all of the steak. Now we're going to add the flank steak to your slow cooker. I am just using my digital slow cooker that you can like brown and sear meat in. We don't need to sear meat today in this recipe, so any slow cooker will work for this, but I did include a link for this. We're just going to toss this right on in, kind of spread it around into the pot. Then I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. We are going to do about 1 cup of shredded carrots. I just bought pre-shredded carrots, but you can also just shred your own if you'd like to. Then we're going to add in minced garlic. I have about 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Now that would be the same as getting like 2 cloves of garlic and mincing them yourself. I'm just doing minced garlic because, well, it makes my life really easy right now in this season of life. Then we'll add in 3/4 cup of brown sugar. I like to break it apart. 3/4 cup of water. And 3/4 cup of soy sauce. Then just give it a quick toss. I'm just using my tongs just to get everything coated in that delicious seasonings. And all we got to do is add the lid. Friends, I just got to go throw these things in the dishwasher. We are going to let this cook on high for 2 to 3 hours or on low for 4 to 5 hours. So it doesn't take as long as a traditional crock pot recipe. So not all day. But if you do have a slow cooker that has a delayed timer on it, you could do that as well. So that way it can start later in the day and then it'll be perfectly finished when you get home from work. Okay, friends, it smells delicious, and I've already taken a peek, and it looks so good. Now, I'm going to serve this with some rice and some sesame seeds on top, and I love green onions, so we're just going to slice those up real quick, cut off the edges, and then we're just going to do some thin slices. You don't have to do this, but I love it, and it makes it look really pretty too. I also have some white rice. This is delicious over rice, but it's also really good over lo mein noodles. And it's also good just as is. If you want a little bit low carb, you could just eat it on some salad. I know it's still got some carbs in there because of that sugar. Okay, now let's see how good this looks. Look at that steam. Woo! It's already pretty, sorry, move that out of the way. It's already pretty thick, because remember that cornstarch was in there, so you shouldn't need to thicken up the sauce. If it's runnier than what you would like, go ahead and just leave the lid off of it and let it cook for like the last 30 minutes just to evaporate all that extra liquid. Just gonna add this on top. So we were talking, like, should you serve this with a spoon, tongs, and I decided that we're going to do both. So tongs for the meat. Guys, it looks so good and tender. And then a spoon if you want some extra sauce, which I'm a sauce girl. Let me know in the comments. Are you a sauce girl? But look how pretty that is. I'm going to top it with a little bit of the sesame seeds. Optional, but why not? And then some of the green onions. And that's how easy it is to make dinner in your crock pot, friends. For time for my favorite part, eating it. Okay, surely by now I have convinced you that you have to make this recipe because it's practically not a recipe. You don't have to cook. If you can dump things in a crock pot, you can make this meal and your whole family is going to be impressed. Okay. Look at that. See how that steak just fell apart? That's good. That's tender. Okay, we're going to go in and get a little bit of everything. That's so good, friends. I know you don't want to hear me chew. We were just talking about how I've had Mongolian beef because I really like it. I've had it at restaurants, and this is way better. Like, it's just so simple to make, friends, and it's just so easy. I want you to make it. And remember, the number one way to hear from us is by leaving a comment, but also if you head to our site and leave a review, you can do up to a 5-star rating and leave a comment, and that tells other people, like, did you use an alternative to brown sugar, like a non-sugar alternative? Did you serve it with the noodles? Did you throw in some broccoli? Did you throw in some green beans? We love hearing from you because it's a community and other people will be able to see your comment. Plus, we do giveaways for people who leave comments in our emails every single week right now. Okay, guys, remember you can grab the full recipe linked in the description below, plus my slow cooker cookbook that I think you should snag too, and all the things that we use today, my knives, everything that I use is linked as well for you. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. It was fun hanging out together in my kitchen today. I love sharing these easy recipes with you, and I hope they help make dinner so much easier for you. And don't forget, we want you to eat at home by eating on a dime. I'll see you next time, friends.